Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
All right, so we've got a lot to dig into today about what went down in New Orleans on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack.
Yeah, tons of info coming at us from all sides,
Right.
News articles everywhere you look. Fox News, CNN, ESPN.
And I saw the Daily Mail even had a big piece on it.
Exactly. It's international news now. And then you've got...
Everyone's talking about it online, too.
Oh, yeah. The search terms, the social media buzz, it's nonstop.
It's crazy.
So we're going to try to make sense of it all right here in this deep dive.
Yeah, cut through the noise and figure out what really matters.
Exactly what happened, why it matters, and what questions we're still left with.
And I think what makes this whole thing so interesting is the timing,
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just any random day this happened. It was New Year's Eve in New Orleans.
Talk about a setting right.
And on top of that, you've got the Sugar Bowl happening.
Huge game. UGA versus Notre Dame.
So you can picture it. The whole city's buzzing with excitement.
Oh, totally. Bourbon Street packed with partygoers.
Yes, the energy must have been electric.
Oh, yeah. You can practically feel the anticipation in the air. Everyone getting ready for the game.
I bet Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame coach, was feeling the pressure.
Oh, definitely. And Laura Rutledge probably gearing up for her sideline reports.
And then suddenly everything changes in an instant.
Yeah, it's like a complete 180 from celebration to chaos.
The sources describe a truck just plowing through the crowds on Bourbon Street.
Awful. And there's no question it sounds like a deliberate attack.
Right. And one detail that really jumps out at me is that there were bollards in place.
You know those safety barriers you see in crowded areas?
Exactly. But the truck still managed to break through.
So that makes you wonder, right?
Oh, absolutely. Was this planned? Did the perpetrator know about those bollards?
Were they prepared to get around them?
Chilling to think about.
Yeah, and the aftermath was immediate and devastating. 10 people lost their lives.
And the Sugar Bowl got postponed, too.
Which really shows you the ripple effect of this incident.
Yeah, it affected everything.
I can only imagine the terror, the confusion in those first moments after the attack.
And then the media just exploded.
It was everywhere you turned. Local news like WWL-TV trying to get a handle on what happened.
National outlets dissecting every angle possible.
Even international coverage, which really shows you the scope of this thing.
This wasn't just a local New Orleans tragedy. This had global implications.
Absolutely. And of course, the investigation kicks off right away.
They identified a suspect pretty quickly. Shamsuddin Bahar Jabbar.
42 years old.
And the sources say that he was killed.
But the details about his death are kind of murky.
Yeah, did he die in the crash itself, or was there some kind of confrontation with law enforcement?
Unclear. It just adds another layer of mystery to this whole thing.
Right, and then you throw in the discovery of IEDs.
Oh, yeah, that changes everything.
Suddenly we're not just looking at a single tragic event.
It's potentially a much bigger, much more sinister plot.
Exactly, and that's where things start to get really complicated.
Yeah, this is where we got to tread carefully. For sure, we'll dive into that in the next part of this deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
Okay, so like we were saying, this is where things get a little bit tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
We're seeing a lot of sources throwing around terms like terror attack.
Right, and there's mention of an ISIS flag found somewhere in connection to this Jabbar guy.
Exactly, but here's the thing. The FBI investigation is still going on, right?
It's early days.
So we can't just jump to conclusions and say definitively that this was terrorism.
You've got to be careful not to endorse any particular narrative.
Yeah, stick to the facts.
Just report what the sources are saying without, adding our own opinions.
Exactly. And speaking of opinions, you've got political figures weighing in now, too.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Governor Landry, the mayor of New Orleans, Cantrell.
They both released statements.
Which kind of shows you how quickly this incident became politicized.
Right. And it makes you think about the bigger picture, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Like this whole issue of security in public spaces.
Especially during big events like the Sugar Bowl.
It's a tough balance.
Yeah. How do you ensure safety without preventing people from enjoying themselves?
It's a dilemma cities all over the world are grappling with.
Absolutely. And then you have to think about the victims.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the investigation and the political debates.
And forget about the human cost.
10 people died.
And countless others were injured or traumatized by what they saw.
Their stories are just starting to come out.
And it's important to remember that these were real people with families and friends and lives cut short.
This wasn't just a statistic. It was a devastating loss for so many people.
And you can see that in the online response, too.
Yeah, all the search terms, New Orleans tragedy, prayer, support for victims.
It really shows you the emotional impact this has had on people.
Going back to the bollards for a second, though, it seems like they did provide some level of protection.
Yeah, they probably prevented even more casualties.
But obviously wasn't enough.
Right. The truck still got through.
So what does that tell us about the effectiveness of these measures?
Especially in light of other vehicle attacks we've seen around the world.
Yeah, is it time to rethink our approach to security in public spaces?
Are bollards enough, or do we need something more?
Tough questions.
And then there's the economic impact to consider.
Oh yeah, New Orleans relies heavily on tourism.
The Sugar Bowl being postponed must have been a huge financial blow.
Absolutely. Hotels, restaurants, local businesses all affected.
And don't forget about the fans who traveled from all over to see the game.
Right. Their plans were completely disrupted.
It's a ripple effect that touches so many aspects of the city.
And then you've got the whole social media angle.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
On one hand, it's a powerful tool for spreading information and connecting with people.
People can share their grief, offer support, raise money.
But it can also be a breeding ground for misinformation and rumors.
People jump to conclusions, spread conspiracy theories.
It's hard to know what to believe sometimes.
You really have to be careful about the sources you trust.
And one thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of talk about the suspect's mental state.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
Some sources are hinting at possible mental health issues.
While others are quick to label him a terrorist.
It's a sensitive topic, and I think it's important to avoid speculating.
We don't have all the facts yet.
Let the investigation run its course, and let the experts determine what role mental health may have played.
Exactly. We shouldn't rush to judgment.
And I think that's a good place to leave it for now.
Yeah, lots to think about.
This incident raises so many questions.
About security, about our society, about how we respond to these kinds of events.
And we're going to keep exploring those questions in the next part of this deep dive.
Can't wait.
It feels like we've gone through a ton of information about this incident.
Yeah, we've barely scratched the surface, really.
So much to unpack.
It's like trying to grab smoke, you know?
Right. So many layers, so many threads.
But for me, one thing that really stands out is how vulnerable we are.
Yeah.
Like, we think about security measures, bollards, all that, and it gives us this false sense of security, maybe. But then something like this happens, and it's a wake-up call.
It makes you question everything.
Will we ever feel truly safe in a crowd again, you know?
Yeah, how do we balance that need for security with our desire to, live our lives?
To celebrate, to come together.
Tough questions.
No easy answers, but I think awareness is a good place to start.
Okay.
Not living in fear, but just being more aware of your surroundings.
Being vigilant.
Exactly. And if you see something, say something.
Right.
It's about community, too, looking out for each other.
Because in the end, we're all in this together.
Exactly.
And we can't forget about the victims.
Absolutely.
10 lives lost, and so many others affected by this tragedy.
Their stories need to be heard.
We can't let this become just another headline.
Another statistic. These were real people.
With families with dreams.
And their loss is a profound tragedy.
It is, and I feel like we've asked a lot of questions today.
We have.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe there aren't any easy answers.
This deep dive leaves us with more questions than answers, I think.
What does it tell us about security in public spaces? How do we balance celebration with vigilance?
What will the long-term impact of this event be on New Orleans and the nation?
So much to think about.
So much to process.
But as always, we encourage you to keep digging, to stay informed.
Talk about these issues.
Stay curious and stay safe.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.